The tales of incredible stupidity you are about to hear actually happened. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. To Storytime with Hedoth, you're here with Randall Lefevre and Hedoth as they talk about tales of fail from all around role-playing. Hedoth, how are
Thank you for
you?
having me, Reynold.
Thank you.
I'm doing pretty well.
Thank you very much for joining me. So what we're talking about are Bimmy moments. But all of these tales that Hedoth is telling are about one guy. But we're not mentioning him by name because that's cruel and wrong, and that's not what it's about. It's not about him. It's about the dumb shit that he's done. And so we're
Yeah,
calling him
because yeah, and Bimmy again. Like I think I said this in the first episode of these tales. He's a good guy. I like Bimmy. He just makes very poor choices sometimes, and he has to pay the penalty. And unfortunately, that penalty is usually paid in our lives as well. But it makes for some good stories.
And we will hear another story tonight. And these events of failure have occurred so often that there is a Bimmy moment with a specific definition, and that definition is anything that would jeopardize the well-being and of the party or their performance, either by random acts of stupidity or planned acts of incompetence, either for selfish gain or the result of insignificant reasoning.
Yeah. Okay. So tonight's tale, the bullet point I have is shot the medic twice.
Now, we've all shot the healer once. Like, we've all been there. Just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try this. Oh, no, the grenade rolled over by the healer. Oh, I'm a monster. I'm an asshole. But, all right, how did Bimmy pull it off twice?
You see, I disagree with you, Mike. My MO with the healer is just keep them safe at all costs, because you know what? They're your lifeline, and I don't say that largely because I play healers, but it's if I'm playing a sorcerer and I get screwed up, I'm gonna go cry into the cleric and be like, "Hello, help! Can you patch me up, please?"
You're gonna want that
or
cleric
if I'm the fighter,
alive.
I'm like, get me behind me and keep me alive." So I have a great respect for healers, and I appreciate what they do, and I understand that what they do is rather lackluster, but super important.
It's a thankless job, but someone's got to do
it. And this time it was Bimmy. So, a little backstory. This was a homebrew system. I think it used basically D6s or D8s or something. And it was a StarCraft game.
Oh.
And we were playing Marines.
Oh
boy.
I see.
Yeah. So we had the mission of going and stopping some Zerg from destroying some Vespian refineries.
Okay, this sounds like a good plot. Just like, let's test out this system. Let's shoot our guns.
Yeah, like it was mostly a sort of test run thing, and it worked pretty well. And we kind of all like had an archetype. So we were all Marines, but you had like your sharpshooter Marine, you had your engineer Marine, and like the engineers were sort of like SCVs, and the shooting Marines were your basic Marine, and then you had your medic, and I think we had something else. But anyway, so our GM decided that he was going to roll for our ranking, like, in the hierarchy of things.
Oh.
And we all sat there, and we nervously rolled, and we were like, oh man, this is cool, I got a sergeant, or no, somebody got like private first class, and we were all relatively, low. And Bimmy rolled to be our commanding officer.
Oh.
And we all sort of stopped and took our heart skipped a beat a bit, and we're like,
deep,
oh man,
sobering breath.
He's not only making decisions, but he's making decisions for all of us. So anyway, I think my two characters, one was an engineer and the other was a gunner. Okay. And the dropship drops down, and there's some Zerglings and stuff that are passing by, and they start attacking the refineries because in proper, StarCraft fashion, they don't actually get into the buildings; they just attack them from outside, and that just causes fire because reasons.
Of course.
So we're systematically making our way through this little area, and I'm basically in charge of repairing the Vespian geysers before they explode because I've got the engineer.
Right.
And we each have 2 characters. So I'm doing this, and everybody else is hosing down Zerglings like it's their job, because it is.
Good.
And we get to the end, and like I'm fixing up the last thing, and I just can't do it. Like rolls aren't happening. I can't stop this thing from exploding. So my engineer goes down, and he's like, duck and cover, and my gunner turns around and is like, oh, wait, what? And then he just promptly turns into red mist.
Oh,
But my engineer, though, learned that you should duck and cover, because when you're around an explosion and you duck and cover, you'll be safe.
Right, yeah, no, totally.
Especially if you have one of those old school desks. Like, if you have one of those, you're fine. Doesn't matter what happens.
Totally. Better yet,
So
if you
anyway,
have a hard hat, you're totally safe.
Yeah. Like, if you can get an old school desk and a hard hat, you can survive anything.
Oh, Jesus.
Unfortunately, the medic had neither of those things. And we were, at this point in time, we had lost the one geyser, and we still had the other 2, so, 2/3 success. And the Zerglings had all been, mopped up, essentially, and there was one left. One left! And it was attacking the medic.
Of course.
Yeah, and we're like, oh man, let's go kill that thing. And we start hustling over to it, because it's a Zergling, and it's, grappling onto our medic and trying to kill it. So we're like, oh, hang on, we'll get there, and we'll gun it down at point blank. And Bimmy was like, no, guys, I got this. And our GM goes, you might not want to do that. You might hit your medic. And he's like, I got this. So he raises his rifle and goes, cackety-cack, and hits the medic in the back.
Oh, God.
And we're like, what are you doing? No, stop. We'll get there in another round, and we can shoot the damn thing.
You can hit it with your guns.
We're making a...
Hit it with your fists, like whatever it takes.
We're Marines in power armor. We're just going to curb stomp this thing until it stops moving.
It's just a Zergling,
5 Marines versus 1 Zergling. It's not a good time for the Zergling.
It's really a shitty time for that Zergling.
So anyway, we're on our way there, and we're almost there, and our medic is fucked up. And he's like, come on, guys, I got this. And we're like, wait, what? And then he shoots again and hits the medic again. And we watch the medic drop. And then there's just this very perplexed Zergling sitting there going, oh, well, I guess my job is done. I'm going to go see my friends and let them know how much of a badass I am. And I don't remember if we got the chance to gun the little fucker down, but we were all kind of fucked up. And we're like, wow, wouldn't it be great if we had a medic right now?
Wouldn't that be great?
Well, fuck.
That Zergling is like, wow, I killed something and I didn't even hit it very hard. I'm stronger than I think I am.
Yeah, right? It just sort of showed up and was like, I'm gonna get you, I got you. Huh. That didn't happen. Well, I'm off now. Because that's how Zerglings, think in my mind.
I mean,
anyway, so after this...
Oh, there's more? But wait, there's more!
Sort of. So after this, we go into a bunker that was on site. And the reason we didn't use the bunker is because it was too far away from the geysers. Because otherwise we would have just piled into that and just be like, Terran technology.
Yeah.
So we get in there, and there's some Zerglings still kicking around, but like they're just sort of fucking off the buffalo. And, Bimmy is like, you, engineer, get outside and repair the bunker. And and everybody else is like, dude, like, you're sending him outside alone? And I'm like, no, it's okay. Sergeant Bimmy's in here. I'm okay with being outside. So I promptly march my ass outside, and I take my chances with the Zerglings, and, nothing attacked me, but... So I repair this thing, and our GM has decided to set up bunkers, like, sort of like in-between mission, resupply stores.
Okay.
So we gained so much money from killing so many Zerglings and from saving so many Vespian geysers. So we're like, oh man, we've got some, Terran credits here. What do we want to do with them? And we're like, well, first thing we should do is we should buy all the goddamn stim packs so that we can heal up. Because in that world, stim packs healed you.
Right, whatever.
And then we're like, okay, well, now we got enough for a fucking vehicle, so why don't we get a vehicle? Because that's cool. So we got, like, this sort of Jeep Wrangler thing. Think of... kind of think like the Warthog from Halo, except instead of having a... Did it have a gun on it? I think it did have a gun on it.
Okay.
So basically it was that, and it had a couple more seats for the rest of us, so... Sort of a troop transport. that just happened to have a gun on it.
Did it have firing ports?
What's that?
Did it have firing ports?
No, it was open topped, which is important.
Oh.
So we get into this thing, and I don't remember how it went down exactly, but Bimmy got in the driving seat.
No!
And we're like, oh man, this is a bad idea. And I don't remember if one of us had piloting. I think like later on one of us took piloting because we realized it would be important, but I don't think any of us had it yet.
Okay.
And I don't remember if he pulled rank or if we were just sort of brain dead at the moment. But anyway, we take off and we're headed towards this another installation. And there's Zerg that are attacking this installation, mostly Zerglings. So we're like, okay, well, let's just keep going at a reasonable speed, and we'll just use the gun on top and gun them down, and we'll shoot them from the vehicle. And things are going pretty well, and then things start to turn on us. So Bimmy says, fuck it, I'm punching it. So when you're just driving slowly and kind of casually, you don't need to make drive checks.
Right.
When you're driving like you're being chased by a horde of Zerglings, and all kinds of shit is after you, you have to make checks.
Of course. But he has no pilot skill.
He's barely able to keep this thing on the road. And we're like, man, you should slow down. This is not going to go well. We're better off, getting some distance and letting them catch up and then going. And long story short, a Hydralisk comes out of the ground and says, hello, and flips the damn vehicle. And we tumble out because Bimmy failed his drive check. So we're on the ground now.
Okay.
The Jeep has been flipped over. And there is a very pissed off Hydralisk, which then proceeds to fuck us up spectacularly. And in this particular instance, Bimmy was killed by the Hydralisk, at which point in time we were all like, oh man, field promotion. This is the best thing ever. Because Bimmy's no longer in charge. Like, Sarge is dead, happy day. So we managed to kill the Hydralisk, and the rest of the Zerglings have either dispersed or they're going after the installation. So we flip the Jeep back over, and we make our way over there at a reasonable pace,
right, and
proceed to gun the rest of them down. And then our GM decided to give us like a self-propelled gun to take on an Ultralisk that they wanted to throw at us, but. That was Bimmy. That was that Bimmy moment where he was like, "No, I got this, guys." Cackety cack, shot the medic. No, I can do it. Just trust me on this. Cackety cack, dead medic.
Nice work, Bimmy.
And I don't know. Have you played StarCraft?
I have.
Like the old Brood War.
I have.
So you understand how cool medics are, because medics can just sort of sit behind Marines and go, "Guess what? You guys aren't dying today."
Oh yeah, and on top of that, they also get that sweet flare thing and the ability to eliminate enemy status effects. Like overall, medics are awesome, and not just for the healing ability, but mostly for the healing ability.
Mostly for the healing ability.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was that tale of Bimitude.
Well, thank you very much, Hedoth. Go. What's the bullet point for the next one?
The bullet point for the next one is. Paladin charges during parley because he wants to kill the leader quickly and knows that it would spring a trap if he charged.